How's it going, guys? We have a medium difficulty question for infectious disease, pulmonary, family medicine. Okay, it's a mixed step 1, step 2 question. Very similar Q. Shows up one of the offline nbme exams for step 1. Before we get started, please subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it. Give video a like. I really appreciate it. Find me on Instagram at mehlman_medical, at mehlman_medical. Links down below. Find me on Telegram. The links to the Telegram group and channel are down below. And I'll start the clip. So, 24-year-old male, 5-day history, non-productive cough, sore throat, and fever. He's febrile at 101 Fahrenheit. Crackles are heard over the right lower lobe. X-ray shows patchy lower right alveolar infiltrates with interstitial markings. Leukocyte count 9,000 per microliter, normal range 4 to 11,000. Hemoglobin 11 grams per deciliter. Normal range in males and non-menstruating women 13 to 17.5. Menstruating women 12 to 17.5. Question wants to know the most likely explanation for these findings. Let's just whip through the answer choices here. Choice A, cytomegalovirus, wrong fucking answer. I have seen one question where on offline NBME for step 1 where they give us cytomegalovirus pneumonia and they show the classic owl eye appearance. Okay, you need to know histologically. You see intranuclear inclusions. They look colloquially like owl eyes. Cytomegalovirus is the most common organism contracted and transmitted via organ transplants and blood transfusions. You need to know that, okay? It's not always the answer in that case, but it's very high yield. That's a factoid for CMV, okay? DNA virus. If they tell you there's an organ transplant and then there's B cell proliferation, you have a lymphoma, that's actually EBV, not CMV. That's on the NBME as well. But the owl eye appearance, I've seen a CMV pneumonia. In this case, wrong fucking answer. Choice B, Haemophilus influenzae. And notice that this doesn't say type B. Okay, type B would be epiglottitis in unvaccinated or immigrants. When we just have non-typable Haemophilus influenzae, this is one of the causes of otitis media. Okay, so otitis media being strep pneumo, Haemophilus influenzae, non-typable. Okay, Moraxella catarrhalis. You could also be aware there is one question on one of the offline NBMEs for step 1 where they give a COPD caused by a gram-negative rod. Okay, and it's Haemophilus influenzae, non-typable. You could be aware of that. In this case, wrong fucking answer. Choice C, Klebsiella pneumoniae, wrong answer. Okay, so Klebsiella, classically aspiration pneumonia. Okay, alcoholics, those who have broken teeth, missing teeth, history of stroke with dysphagia. Okay, also those who lose gag reflex, Alzheimer, Parkinson's disease, even epilepsy, but Klebsiella, this can cause a cavitary pneumonia. If they give you a pneumonia and they say there's a cavitary lesion, that's Klebsiella, okay? It causes colloquially current jelly sputum, although I've never seen it show up on the NBME that way, but just a thick red sputum. Wrong fucking answer. Choice D, Legionella, wrong answer. Okay, so Legionella, Legionnaires disease. I mean, this can cause a pneumonia. The only way I've seen this show up truthfully on NBME exam is history of business trips, okay, air conditioners. So, I mean, I've seen business trip where you just have to assume that means air conditioners. All right, it's pretty simple. It's a gram-negative, and it's an atypical. Okay, so you can treat Legionella the same way that you can treat mycoplasma pneumonia or chlamydia pneumonia, okay, which is just going to be azithromycin. So they ask that straight up on the 2CK NBMEs. So Legionella can also cause hyponatremia and diarrhea. Okay, that's actually extremely important. So if you get a question where they give you pneumonia and there's increased bowel motions or low sodium, that's very important for Legionella. In this case, wrong fucking answer. Choice C, mycoplasma, is the correct answer. This is walking pneumonia. Now, this question's a little bit unusual, but it's not my fucking opinion because, as I prefaced with, this is very similar to one of the NBME questions where I say it's unusual because atypical pneumonias, mycoplasma, Legionella, chlamydia, even viral, are usually bilateral interstitial infiltrates, okay? Now, they can tell you bilateral interstitial markings, bilateral wheezes, okay? In a 23-year-old, we say walking pneumonia for mycoplasma colloquially because literally it'll be a young, otherwise healthy patient who's walking around perfectly fine, okay? I've seen an NBME question where they literally say the dude went for a hike for 8 hours, okay? So they're walking around perfectly fine, but then you do the chest x-ray and it looks unhealthy, okay, because you clearly have a pneumonia here. They call it walking pneumonia. Now, this question's a little bit unusual because this isn't bilateral. And you say, well, that's really fucking weird. Okay, well, atypical is bilateral, strep pneumo, classically lobar. If they say right lower lobe, dullness to percussion, that's strep pneumo. It's not fucking listed here. Okay, and this is on purpose. They don't list it on the nbme question either. This question, how do we reconcile? They say the word interstitial. And this has led me to write in my PDFs, if you've done my PDFs, when I talk about this, the word interstitial for atypical pneumonia wins over the bilateral location. So, for example, you get a question, they just say, right lower lobe, consolidation, dullness percussion, that's strep pneumo. Okay, bilateral interstitial infiltrates, atypical, most likely mycoplasma. Okay, right lower lobe pneumonia with interstitial infiltrates, mycoplasma wins. Okay, interstitial markings win over the location. And also, we have low hemoglobin here because mycoplasma can cause cold agglutinins. Okay, that's IgM antibodies against RBCs, cold autoimmune hemolytic anemia. So you can get low hemoglobin in mycoplasma. That made this question easier. Okay, if you knew that factoid, you can be rewarded that way. Now, strep pyogenes, wrong answer, of course, not the same as strep pneumo, but strep pyogenes, scarlet fever, okay, cutaneous infections, cellulitis, erysipelas, impetigo. But I mean, this will cause rheumatic heart disease when you have the pharyngitis. It will cause PSGN, okay, and you're going to treat with penicillin when we talk about pharyngitis. But for skin, you're going to give dicloxacillin. Long fucking discussion, medicine 301 level stuff. You know the deal. Make more content. If you like my stuff, subscribe my channel. And I appreciate your time. That's it.